Yeah, that's all I got on that.
No doubt. Now, Chuck D, SamAnt, he was talking about he laid down some information, real disturbing information about Maury Povich and Jerry Springer about how he thinks that the feds might be paying them.
Yeah, man, Chuck D, public enemy. For those of you who don't know who Chuck D is, he's very influential and definitely outspoken when it comes to Black culture, Black empowerment, and the issues plaguing the Black community. He's been there since the 90s. We grew up listening to Public Enemy, him and Flavor Flav and the brothers out there. He said something on his Twitter. I'll read that for the people. You see it big on the screen for the people on YouTube. Let me get your thoughts. Just how much did the feds pay these old white dudes like Maury and Jerry Showtime and young folks dysfunctional shit on air, especially young Black folks? Beware of elder media, new COINTELPRO buzzets hovering. Everything ain't entertainment. In fact, it is exploitation. Oh God! Now, before I let you go in, man, it's funny because I happened to see Maury Povich recently on the Breakfast Club, and we just had a discussion about the Breakfast Club yesterday.
Yeah,
with our man, what's my man's name? Lakeith Stanfield.
Yes, sir. Going
in on Charlemagne the God. I don't know if you've seen his commentary on it on live. If you haven't, I'll send that to you after the show. But he went in. Salute to that brother.
Yeah.
And now we got Chuck D saying this, man. Oh God, what do you think about this? Is he right? Is he on to something? What's your thoughts?
I think that he's right, and I definitely think he could be on to something. A lot of people, when they hear information like this, they tend to kind of just say, nah, I don't think that this could happen.
Nah, man.
But I think that, yes, there are, people out there that are paid by different higher entities that are, put in place to perpetuate a stereotype. Let's look at these shows. Let's look at the content of these shows. One, Maury Povich is always, showing pretty much, most of the time it's Black, Hispanic families. This woman slept with 50 people. She don't know who the father is. People are it's emotional, people running around, and it makes the person who's sitting at home that may be in Tinseltown in San Fran somewhere or in Silicon Valley that's looking at Black culture and Black people. It makes them, look at us like, oh, these people are just animals. They're sleeping all around. Same thing, with the World Star. We talked about this yesterday with Lakeith, the actor. And he was talking about, you could turn on World Star, some of these different things, and all you see is, Popeye's chicken sandwiches, people lined up, people fighting. This person threw the baby out the window or something like that. And this makes our culture look sick and disgusting. And the problem with it is that, especially with Jerry Springer, another one, we all seen that in Maury Povich, especially with the type of stuff that they put out there. If this is all that they're doing, and how could they not be a culture vulture, of that particular thing? They just making money off, and image is everything. Propaganda is everything. What you see in the media is everything. We can't just write that off like, oh, no, that's not having an effect. It's having an effect. And then the other side, saying, maybe before I let you go in, is the effect that it's having on us seeing that stuff, and us even, our women and whatnot thinking, oh, all these niggas ain't shit and things like that. And this is the way it is when it's really not. We were just talking about how we see a lot of, Black committed fathers, in relationships, out to sports teams and doing things like that. We ourselves are that. So it's just like definitely on to something, paid by the feds, paid by the government. I don't discount that either, SamAnt. I can't.
Nah, didn't Jerry Springer, if I'm not mistaken, hold political office at one point in his lifetime or something? I'm not too far fetched off it. I could look it up. I think Jerry Springer held office somewhere. And Maury Povich is known to have, like you said, the woman on there. She got 8 kids, slept with 50 dudes. Don't know who the father is. We're going to bring another 9 dudes on here to see if she slept with them within these 9 months. And it's a shit show. Now we grew up on that. They've been doing this for 20 some odd, 30 some odd years. Some of our family members used to sit right there and watch this nonsense while we used to go outside and play and do our thing. They loved it. It was social programming. The beginning of it, for what we knew, is right what it is right now, and how they go out here and perpetuate such negativity to our culture. And they're so popularized and popularized in our culture. You see Maury on mainstream media, Black culture TV, where he's talking about these issues, and he's still looked at it as one of the godfathers of Black entertainment. But it kind of goes alongside with the chicken sandwich. It's just like, God damn, man, just go ahead and eat your chicken sandwich and watch this nonsense and see how the other people just laugh and look at us as a joke. It's not a joke. he is definitely on to something. When we sat in the courtroom, in a federal courtroom, and listened exactly to what lengths they go in order to gain information, in order to gain in certain intel and things like that, they will go to all lengths. So why not think that they're sitting out here in situations to perpetuate negativity, to stereotype a particular race in a particular way? He's definitely on something.
Yeah, and then you talk about, the different, the programming, and you talk about us coming up and seeing Maury Povich and Jerry Springer. And at that time with cable, it wasn't but maybe 40, 50 channels. Yeah. It started getting, to the 200s, later on. So these are the main shows that's being fed, to
every
us.
Morning.
Yeah, every morning, 5 days a week, like food, like regiment, like you're going to school. and it gets downloaded in our psychology. And, now on the contrary, we can't rely on other people to educate us and, to give us our images. We're supposed to create our own because it's like, you can't expect them to do anything positive for you. It's a competition out here and they're on the other side. So they're going to want to put you at a disadvantage. Now, what if they fed us more of the Cosby shows, a show on, or like Shark Tank or something like that? What if we were getting fed those type of things? Every time we turn on the TV, we seen a successful black lawyer that got this, a show of, or a movie of a successful black lawyer that got another black man that got wrongfully accused of, you know what I mean? And then when he gets out, the man beats the trial, he becomes successful because he don't get that charge or something like that. What if we started seeing more images, even like it's Fresh Prince, even though people got their little, things about that, they could say different things about characters, but ultimately successful black images doing things, you know what I mean? So, we can go on all day with this conversation. I love to hear what the people are going to say in the comment section, especially on YouTube about this. But yeah, I mean, for years, we've been calling stuff out like this, as far as like these talk shows. And if you really add it up though, SamAnt, and really line all this up and look at the stuff that we watch, even black shows, it'll be like, man, no wonder our people in the condition, that they're in,
It made an impact, man. Yeah. It made an impact heavy. It didn't matter what household you were in. It didn't matter your social demographic. We had the Cosby shows. We had Martin. We had Different World. We had Fresh Prince, but we also had those other shows. Mm-hmm. And to sit back and act as if those didn't have impact on us too, and how we look at one another and how we predispose one another. And maybe not even realizing that too. We had to look into the mirror as older adults and see, oh, damn, yeah, it did have a little more of an effect than we thought as a child. It definitely made an impact, man. It's still making an impact to this day. It's disrespectful. And the fact that they still are allowed platforms like the Breakfast Club, I got to call them out, to be able to sit there and almost be grandfathered in black culture is crazy. And it should be talked about.
Exploitation, at its highest form. And to close this out, this is why I like, when I talk about even in what we do, you got a lot of people who are not of this culture, don't know nothing about it, but come in as vultures. And even what we do, we talked about the Doggy Diamond with the podcast, but every little thing you have these people, man. So keep calling them out, and we just got to be a little bit more stingy on how we move and how we do business, and who we allow in and things like that.
Yeah,
I think,
got to be stingy. I like that. Stingy.
Yeah, definitely. But you're tuned into the Hip Hop Uncensored podcast with your brother, Oh God, and SamAnt. We're going in today on this Tuesday afternoon. You'll probably be watching this on Wednesday or whatever day you check it out. Make sure you subscribe to the Hip Hop Uncensored podcast right there on your screen. Now, I'm gonna talk about Cardi B, SamAnt, because she dropped a freestyle the other day, and yesterday actually. And she thought she killed that joint, man. What'd you think about Cardi B's freestyles? I loaded up here for the people to play in a second.
I'll give her some positive reinforcement before I give her some real reality. I applaud her for being a new